Hey nerds, what's up? Today's video is going to be the most anticipated 2021 releases, and all of these are going to be coming out in the first 6 months of 2020. I hope to make a second half of the year release video, but we'll see. It's up in the air, as always. So yeah, without further ado, let's look at these. Firstly, in January 2021, we have Lore coming out by Alexandra Bracken. This comes out on the 5th, so it's like soon, in just like basically less than 2 weeks, I think, or maybe about 2 weeks. I don't know, but wow, I am excited for this one. Alexandra Bracken, I've read The Darkest Minds by her. I have not read Passenger, but I think I've read a few other things from her, like short stories at least. And I also just really like her as a person. Like, I've met her a couple times now at various bookish events. Wow, miss those. That's sad. Yeah, and this book is a Greek mythology retelling. It's about Medusa, and wow, I am excited about it. I don't really know a whole lot. I did watch one of her videos that kind of goes into more, but I am ready for some Greek mythology. I love Greek mythology retellings. I used to be obsessed with it in like middle school and early high school. Percy Jackson's was one of my favorite stories. I haven't read a lot of the Rick Riordan verse since then, just because the more older I get, the less I really enjoy middle grade all that much. So they tend to be a little bit flat for me, and it's just not my reading taste. But man, I used to love Greek mythology, so I am so excited for this book, and I really hope it lives up to my expectations. It sounds amazing. The next book that I would really like to read comes out on the 12th of January, and that is Concrete Rose by Angie Thomas. This is a prequel to The Hate U Give, which was one of my favorite books of all time the year it came out, which honestly can't remember what year that was, but it's so exciting. I believe, if I remember correctly, that this book follows Star's dad when he was in the gang that he talks about being in during The Hate U Give, and he got out of it and all of that. So I think that that's what this book is about. But honestly, anything Angie Thomas comes out with, I want to read. I still haven't read On the Come Up yet, but it's on one of my like anticipated TBRs, even though I'm me and never read anything on my TBR. Then February has quite a few releases for me, 4 total. So starting off, on February 2nd, there are 2 releases that come out that day that I am excited for. The first of which is The Project by Courtney Summers. This is a young adult, I believe it might be new adult, thriller, and it's based on a cult. So it's like about this group called The Project that is a charity, but they're a cult, and they have a lot of like rules and stuff. And so this girl, I think it is a young adult, this girl is in high school, I'm pretty sure, and she's trying to infiltrate in order to write a journal article about it. I'm a little bit hesitant about this one just because it is with young adult. That's why I'm pretty sure it is young adult, because I remember being hesitant about the age range that this is based on. Like, sometimes the story just sounds like it would have been better if the person had been an adult. So we'll see. I am very interested, and I really loved Courtney Summers' Sadie, which I listened to on audiobook, so I might try to do this one on audiobook too. We'll see once it comes out, but I'm into it. And then I also am really interested in Sanctuary Highway by Ellen Hopkins, and basically Ellen Hopkins is just one of those authors that I adore her writing. She usually writes in verse, and she always does some really fucked up stories. Like, there are always crazy trigger warnings in her books, and I've loved her writing since I was in high school, so I'm very excited for this one. I don't even remember what it's about, but I saw her name and I saw that she has a new book coming out, and I put it on my list. This book is a like short, futuristic, not short as in page length, but soon into the future book about a radicalized, militarized United States, which is now called the Confederation, has redefined what it means to be an American. The parameters are narrow, the exceptions few. In danger and on the run, 2 teens who fall outside the correct Confederation designation must join forces on a 1,000-mile journey north for safety. but survival means relying on strangers, and not everyone is who they appear to be. Like I said, you had me at Ellen Hopkins. On the 16th of February, A Court of Silver Flames comes out by Sarah J. Maas. This is the first book in the next cycle of the Court of Thorns and Roses series that's maybe connected, and A Court of Frost and Starlight is supposed to be the bridge between the two. I still have not read A Court of Frost and Starlight because frankly I've heard such terrible things about it that I don't want to ruin my love for this author. There's a difference between being aware of the things that you should critique an author for and also subjectively still loving her work, because like I've said in previous videos, opinions are subjective. Even though the conversation about like whitewashing characters and all of that, not subjective. Two things. Anyways, so yes, very excited for this one. Very excited to see the characters from A Court of Thorns and Roses in it. I am actually doing A Court of Thorns and Roses read along right now with my friends Chelsea from Chelsea Dolly Reads and Sierra. She used to have a channel but doesn't anymore. And I just am having the time of my life. I just finished A Court of Thorns and Roses not too long ago, so I plan on reading A Court of Mist and Fury sometime in January. You'll see more of that in my January TBR, but I am excited for this book. The next book that I really want to read comes out on February 23rd, and this is called The Initial Insult by Mindy McGinnis. And this, first of all, look at this cover. Like, it's gorgeous and creepy. Mindy McGinnis is another author that I haven't read that many things from, but every single one of her synopses just make me like, I want to read it. And then I buy it and then I forget because, again, I can't read shit on my TBR. So this book, that I don't remember initially, takes place in Ohio, where your last name is worth more than your money and secrets can be kept for a price. Tress Montour knows that her family used to mean something until she didn't have a family anymore. When her parents disappeared 7 years ago while driving her best friend home, Tress lost everything. The word Tress is confusing me. She might still be a Montour, but the entire town shuns her now that she lives with her drunken, one-eyed grandfather at what locals refer to as White Trash Zoo. I'm into it. I love, 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 love. One of my favorite types of YA novels is about kids who are in fucked up situations. Whoops, said it. Like when we are in just terrible situations, whether it's like the poor living, like not having enough, for food and stuff like that, and always struggling, whether it's like dealing with addictions of some sort or like sexual assault stories. All of those books tend to really just hit me right where it hurts. And that is what I love in a contemporary novel, which sounds fucked up to say because it's like, why do I love it when it's terrible? But it's like, it's so well done. So when a book like that is really well done, then I love it. And Mindy McGinnis, I want to read all of her books. I want to read all of them. So on March 2nd, Kazuo Ishiguro has a new book called Clara and the Sun coming out. I actually just put in I just entered to win a giveaway for this book because I love Kazuo Ishiguro's writing. Wow. I read Kazuo Ishiguro for the first time in Never Let Me Go. I read this book actually in college for a class. And then I recently reread it this year on audiobook. This book is about clones and like it's a societal commentary on like what it means to be human, and I think it's a male. The author does so good. Okay, so Clara and the Sun, the new book coming out on March 2nd, is a magnificent new model from the Nobel laureate Kazuo Ishiguro. Yeah, I was right. It is a male. Okay, so this is his first book since he won the Nobel Prize in Literature, and it tells the story of Clara, an artificial friend with outstanding observational qualities who, from her place in the store, watches carefully the behavior of those who come in to browse and of those who pass on the street outside. She remains hopeful that a customer will soon choose her. Clara and the Sun is a thrilling book that offers a look at the changing world through the eyes of an unforgettable narrator, and one that explores the fundamental question, what does it mean to love? And this is just, it reminds me so much of the plot of Never Let Me Go, because like I was saying, it is about clones. This is AI instead, of course, but like I just feel like it's such a fascinating topic of discussion that Kazuo Ishiguro has done really well in the past, so I'm really excited to see what Clara and the Sun is like. And then on March 23rd, we have another book called Lost in the Neverworld by Aiden Thomas. I read Aiden Thomas's, I think, first novel, Cemetery Boys. I think it's a debut if I remember correctly. I read that book recently, like earlier this month. I loved it. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. It wasn't like the perfect book for me, but it's so well done. Aiden Thomas is non-binary, and their main character in Cemetery Boys is also trans, and I just really love that we're seeing more representation too. Like, I can't imagine, because I am a white girl, that what it feels like to like see yourself in a book for the first time, just because I've always had that experience, so I don't know, but I would imagine it's really, really special. So their next book is called Lost in the Neverworld, and this book, or Lost in the Neverworlds, and this book, again, the cover, what? I love it. So this is a book. When children go missing, people want answers. When children go missing in the small coastal town of Astoria, people look to Wendy for answers. It's been 5 years since Wendy and her 2 brothers went missing in the woods, but when the town's children start to disappear, the questions surrounding her brother's mysterious circumstances are brought back into light. Attempting to flee her past, Wendy almost runs over an unconscious boy lying in the middle of the road and gets pulled into the mystery haunting the town. So again, with the paranormal stuff, in general, paranormal doesn't tend to be my favorite topic, but again, Aiden Thomas's first novel just blew me away. It wasn't perfect, like I said. I did have some issues with the characters, and just like the lack of conversation around some of the way that the characters acted, and the like red flags that were ringing never were addressed to me. But in this one, I obviously haven't read it yet, and I am very, very excited. In April, the only book that I have on my radar right now is Second First Impressions by Sally Thorne. Sally Thorne wrote The Hating Game and 99% Mine. I haven't read 99% Mine. I've heard a lot of mixed reviews on it, so I didn't go anywhere near it because I didn't want to ruin the love I had for The Hating Game on it. But this one is a new adult contemporary, and I just was living my best life seeing new adult contemporary. Loved it. But this new book is clever, funny, and unforgettable story of a muscular tattooed man hired as an assistant to 2 old women under the watchful eye of a beautiful retirement home manager. Distraction, noun, and extreme agitation of the mind and emotions. Ruthie Madonna has worked at the front desk at the retirement villa for 6 years, dedicating her entire life to caring for the villa's residents, maintaining the property, and guarding the endangered tortoises that live in the villa's gardens. Somewhere along the way, she's forgotten that she's young and beautiful and that there's a world outside of work, until she meets the son of the property developer who just acquired the retirement center. Okay, I'm ready. Lastly, May is my last month that I have some books to talk about. On May 4th, The Heart Principle comes out, which is the 3rd book in the cycle of Helen Huang's The Kiss Quotient books. I've had a love-hate relationship with this series because I didn't really like The Kiss Quotient at all. I was really turned off by some of the things that happen in this book. I just didn't like some of it. But then The Bride Test was so well done, and I absolutely loved reading it. I loved every minute of the experience. I loved the ending. It was so cute. I'm rooting for those characters. So The Heart Principle is yet again in the same family, and I'm excited for it, but I'm also a little bit nervous because, like I was just explaining, we've had one bad and one good, so what's gonna happen with number 3? A witty and sizzling new romance that shows how wrong you can be about someone and how right they can be for you. Ooh, so it's a hate to love? Okay. Quan Dieppe is nothing but a surly-looking, underachieving playboy. The problem is he's not any of those things, and now that he's the CEO of an up-and-coming retail business, he's suddenly a catch. And the rich girls who never used to pay any attention to him are looking at him in a new way, especially Camila, the girl who brushed him off many years ago. And then lastly, on May 6th, another contemporary is coming out by Casey McQuiston. This is called One Last Stop. Casey McQuiston is the author of Red, White, and Royal Blue, which BookTube just loves to love, including myself. I loved that book. That one is a new adult romance about a fictional version of reality where the son of the female president of the United States in current times falls in love with one of the princes of England, and they have a romance, and at first it's secret, and there's a lot of things that happen, and I loved it. And so this is her next book coming out, called One Last Stop, a new romantic comedy that puts a queer spin on Kate and Leopold, which I have no idea what that means. A 23-year-old realizes her subway crush is displaced from 1970s Brooklyn, and she must do everything in her power to help her and try not to fall in love with a girl who's lost in time before it's too late. So she's trying some time travel-y things, which makes me really nervous, actually. Like, really, really nervous. Like, extremely nervous. But I'm still gonna read it. As of right now, those are all the books that are on my most anticipated reads list. There are a lot of books out there that a bunch of other booktubers are talking about in their own 2021 anticipated releases. So my list is slowly growing and growing, but these are the ones that called out to me when I was making my own list before watching anyone else's anticipated reads list. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you did. If you're still with me, answer me this. What is your top 2 anticipated releases as of right now for 2021? I would love to know, so please leave a comment down below for that. And hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I'll see you guys tomorrow with a new one. Peace out. Bye.